Hey people, Swamp here, and welcome to episode 66 of Danganronpa. Last time we started the finals class trial, and we found out that everyone else got those weird photos as well, except they were edited out of their own photos. So, yeah, Monokuma's trap of trying to get us all to turn against each other. But we got past it, and anyways, in this episode we're going to continue the trial.
Okay. So you want us to figure out who killed her before we do anything else.
And hopefully, if my own audio test is right, I managed to fix the issues that were happening in the last few videos. I just don't get why that happens. So until we do that, well, either way, you have to explain every last remaining mystery. Anyways, as I was saying, for these last two trials, I'm going to make the videos a lot longer just because things are getting a lot more intense and I want to see more of things. Plus, really, just 25 minutes can be a bit frustrating when you got this much plot coming at you at once. So, the one who killed Mukuro, the true mastermind, that's what we need to expose. Now, as I said, I'm leaning towards Junko. Junko has a role in this, I think. Monokuro control Ikusawa profile matches the handbook. I'm going to say it's the Mukuro Ikusawa profile.
So who did it? Who killed her?
Whoever did it is the same one who's behind everything. That much I'm sure of.
But when you think about it, is the mastermind really here in the school?
Of course! They have to be here somewhere.
What makes you so sure?
The control room.
What does make me so sure?
Exactly! You're just making stuff up. There's no way the mastermind is here. The mastermind is probably a million miles away.
Hello!
Those masterminds always lurk off in the background.
Okay, I know that's the control room.
So who did it?
Whoever did it is that much.
But when you... Is the mastermind...
Of course, they have to be.
What makes you so sure?
Exactly.
You're just making stuff up. The mastermind is probably a million miles.
Boom! There we go.
No, it's wrong.
Okay, let's do this. Break.
There's no question that the mastermind is somewhere within the school.
How do you know? Did you find some evidence or something?
Hina, did you tell them?
In the back of the data center, I found a panel that controls Monokuma. The mastermind must have been using that to control him all this time. So there can't be any doubt. The mastermind has been inside the school all along.
That and Monokuma's right here.
There can't be any doubt. In which case, there also can be no doubt that the mastermind is one of us.
That would be impossible. The mastermind would have to be in the room right now, and we're all here.
Why?
Recall what Makoto told us Monokuma said to him earlier.
I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students, and we're repeating the same dialogue again and again and again. And the only people that take a single sentence host peek since the killing game began are those 16 students.
So if the mastermind is in the school, we have to assume it can only be that 16th student.
But how'd they manage to survive all of this?
So we're the only ones here? It's not me! I'm not the mastermind!
Hiro, you are no mastermind, trust me. Like, you'd have to have a mind to be a mastermind.
Well, it's not me.
I blame Makoto!
What if it was... Let's charge up Makoto winning down.
What? Why me?
Cuz! It's super weird how you're the only one who survived being executed!
He's the ultimate lucky student.
Oh, I get it! The only way he could have survived is if he was actually the mastermind himself, right?
Aw, nuts! Ya got me!
Wait! What are you trying to say?
Everyone, calm down. There's no reason to panic. The mastermind's true identity will become clear soon enough. Just as soon as we find out who killed Mukuro.
That's a good point. Rather than wasting time bickering, we should put our minds to work solving this mystery.
Yeah, well, how much time have we already spent talking about the murder?
He's right. What more is there to talk about? If you want something to talk about, I think there might be one thing. We haven't fully established what Mukuro's fatal injury was.
Huh? But I thought we figured that out. She died when she got hit in the back of the head.
No, that isn't actually what killed her. It was something entirely different. Wouldn't you agree, Makoto?
Mukuro's actual cause must have been the other wounds.
I got it! All of the wounds covering her body. That's what really killed her.
Hey, now hold on a second. You did read the Monokuma file, right?
But yes, but what if, and this is going back, I don't know if I've said this theory already, just I could have said this last video, it's been a little time since I recorded, but what if Mukuro was actually in the school with us the entire time, and we didn't know it? Going back to my theory of Mukuro being Junko's identical twin, what if the Junko we really talked to was actually Mukuro, disguised as Junko? And those other wounds were basically the real Junko, aka our true mastermind, killing her earlier. Her corpse was then loaded up into that tarp from the one area and taken out. It was then disintegrated. That's why they had the nails. And that's why the hair was lighter in color.
Pretty clear. Those wounds were made at least a few days ago. So they can't possibly be what killed her.
The sphere of the gun year.
Consider this. What if the murder itself took place at least a few days ago?
What?
What if, when we discovered her body, she'd already been dead for several
And
days?
the person who attacked Makoto was actually Junko.
If that's true, then naturally the wounds that killed her would appear to be however many days old.
That doesn't make any sense. Because she had all those wounds before she ever came here. Huh? How do you know that? Isn't it obvious? She was the ultimate soldier, right? So that means, you know.
You're wrong.
She denied me before I could even say anything. Come on. I mean, you think I'm
Toko, you're starting to freak me out.
not weird, okay? At least listen to what I have to say before you deny me.
Oh no, we're getting some bullet time. If you're so sure we're going to deny you, why about saying in the first place? Okay, time for some bullets. Oh, argument. I thought we were just going to have to bullet time this. Mukuro's Headmaster Control Room. I'm going to say it's the Mukuro Ikusawa profile.
Mukuro was the ultimate soldier. She must have been in 100 different battles. So, when you think about it, obviously, she got all those wounds in battle.
Now, come on.
Are you finished?
Actually, yeah, I'm going to check the profile just to make sure. Mukuro Ikusawa profile. Mukuro did not have a single scar wound. Yeah, knew it. Okay.
You didn't deny me.
Don't worry.
Okay.
There wasn't anything cute about it.
No, this wound's definitely okay.
Mukuro was the ultimate soldier. She must have been in 100 different battles.
Oh, cool.
So,
I got an
when
achievement.
you think about it, obviously, she got all those wounds.
Boom.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, Toko's just beginning to slam the brakes.
No, Mukuro didn't suffer those wounds in battle. The file we found in the headmaster's room said as much. Despite the time she spent in battle after battle as a member of Fenrir, when she entered this school, she hadn't sustained a single injury.
To be denied so completely. Actually, it's kind of refreshing. Maybe it's because of all of Master's training.
Byakuya is the ultimate trainer now. Just Byakuya, he doesn't even have a word to say.
Anyway, so we can be sure that Mukuro suffered all those wounds after coming to this school, in which case, they could be the very thing that killed her.
As a matter of fact, it's hard to imagine any other possibility. When examining her body, I found that her stomach and head wounds came after she was already dead.
Unless anyone has any better suggestions, I think we can say this with confidence. The wounds Mukuro sustained all over her body are what ultimately killed her.
Oh, and look at those! Those are stab wounds! And what happened with those stab wounds? Spear of Gunyear! I'm
But if
freaking guessing
that's
this.
what killed her,
I got this, didn't I?
then does that mean she's really been dead for who knows how long?
That's exactly what it means. When we found her body in the garden, she'd already been dead for several days.
So then, what about the little matter of what happened last night? Makoto, you said you were attacked in your room by a masked assailant. If Mukuro had already been dead for several days, certainly it couldn't have been her.
Unless she had an identical twin who could pose
So
as her.
who was it that attacked you?
No one attacked me. I can't think of anyone else. The mastermind.
I got it! The one who attacked me was the true mastermind. When we discovered Mukuro in the garden wearing the same mask, I naturally assumed she must have been the one who attacked me, but I was wrong. It wasn't her at all. It was the mastermind.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just getting a little impatient sitting here listening. I think I'm gonna jump in. Let's start off with a nice, easy question. Your assumption that I attacked Makoto is just that, right? An assumption. You can't really know who was under that mask, can you? I mean, that's the whole point of a mask. The true identity of the masked attacker is Mukuro Ikusaba. At least, that's what I think. Do you have any evidence that might convince me otherwise?
No, there's no way Mukuro is the one who attacked me. Even if I didn't see their face. Mukuro had a very obvious veneer tattoo. Comparing the masked attack to the masked attacker, it should be obvious. Wow, they're actually giving us the answer. 1.55.
You never saw their face, right? So you can't have any idea who was under that mask. I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba.
I thought that would be it.
You think that can prove that the one who attacked you isn't Mukuro? Well, it can. I will admit, because I'm totally right.
Shoot!
I have to think about contradiction somewhere. I'm sorry, I just like green.
You never saw their face, so you can't have. I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba.
You're wrong. Even without seeing their face, there's another part of the...
Oh? And what is this up? Is it the right hand? Or the left hand? Maybe the right foot? Or perhaps the left foot? Or could it be the hips? You never saw their... So you can't have... I'm telling you now.
You're wrong. There's another part of the...
Oh? Is it the right hand? Or the left hand?
You would... Okay. I know it's a file!
You never saw their...
Okay, I just wanted to see the file. There's a single knife, there's also... Okay, yeah, just want to make sure.
So you can't have... I'm telling you now, it was...
You're wrong.
Oh, it's right
There's
hand, then
another
it's
part
that,
of the-
okay.
Oh? Is it the right hand? Or
Okay.
the left hand? Maybe the... Or perhaps... Or could it be... the hips?
The tattoo that marks her membership. That tattoo is in a certain easy spy area.
You never saw their face, right? So you can't have any idea who was under that mask. I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba.
You're wrong. Even without seeing their face,
Come
there's
on.
another part of the attacker we can use to...
Oh? And what is it, the right hand? Or the left
Okay,
hand?
this is gonna be one of those episodes. Thank goodness I'm doing extra time.
The hip.
I know it's the right hand,
You
it's the
never
tattoo.
saw their face, so you can't have... I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro.
Okay, boom! Thank goodness.
No, that's wrong. Mukuro had a tattoo on her right hand, if I remember correctly. A representation of Fenrir. In other words, a wolf tattoo.
But like I said, my first thing is that drew my attention were the red nails. The same ones Junko
But I
had.
saw the right hand of the person who attacked me. And there was no such tattoo. So there's no way the person behind the mask was Mukuro.
Yeah, well, okay. You got me. I guess it wasn't her. But that still doesn't prove that it was me. It could have been, someone else, right?
Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I all have solid alibis for that entire night.
Yeah! We were in the gym tearing you apart, so it couldn't have been any of us.
Oh, okay, sure. It couldn't have been any of you. But what about Kyoko? It totally could have been her. Uh-oh, no snappy comeback. Did I score a bullseye?
It could only be, no, you just fell right into a trap. Because if they could tear you apart, Monokuma, that would mean that you, the mastermind, were not in the control room, nor the data center. You were outside.
If you insist, I don't mind showing you.
Huh? Show me what?
What do you think? I'll show you the one thing that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it wasn't me.
Or anyone can say anything. What's happening? Kyoko was moving her
Your
glove.
hands!
Not thinking, I let out a gasp. There's more than just a little burnt skin.
Awful, isn't it? It happened when I was first learning to be a detective. I was inexperienced.
I thought you didn't want anyone to see those scars.
If it means we get another step closer to unmasking the mastermind, it doesn't really bother me.
Kyoko seemed to savor the words as she said them. Then she put her gloves back on.
My scars should suffice as proof. Makoto, did the person who attacked you have scars like mine?
No, not at all. I'm positive.
Then this much has been made clear. There can be no doubt that the one who attacked Makoto is the true mastermind.
This is just awful! On top of my secret being revealed, I had to look at those positively grotesque scars of yours. Sorry, did I say that out loud? I do hope I didn't hurt your feelings.
Not at all. You can say whatever you want.
Sure, as long as it means pushing me farther into the corner, right? But I'm not cornered just yet. Because if you haven't noticed, the circumstances surrounding Mukuro's death are totally unknown.
That's true. All we know right now is she was killed a good while before this morning.
On the contrary, we don't know anything other than that.
You're not going to tell us she was already dead before we arrived here or something, are you?
In that regard, you have nothing to worry about. I promise you, without a doubt, she died after our little killing game began here.
Then somehow she was killed in secret without any of us knowing.
Or rather, she was the most public plain sight death that had happened.
And after she died, who knows how much time went by before we found her, right? Did the culprit stash her somewhere? She couldn't have been in the garden the whole time.
She was in the
could
ward
she?
and she was transferred to from the bio lab to the garden.
She was. She would have been totally decomposed. Just like your brain.
Then she was being stored somewhere?
But to hide a body here, to just store it somewhere?
There's one place. I can't think of anywhere else the body could have been stored. The bio lab.
I got it! Mukuro's body was probably kept hidden in the biolab.
Biolab? You mean on the 5th floor?
That's right. It's actually set up for use as a morgue. So it's the perfect place to hide a body. And it'd keep the body preserved at the same time.
Then you're also saying the body was moved from the biolab to the garden.
And I have no doubt that that's exactly what happened. In fact, I have proof.
The move that shows the body was carried to the... Okay. The tarp. Come on, we gotta get the tarp. Tarp. Come on, where's the tarp? Ah, there's the tarp.
I got it.
Biolab tarp.
What makes me so sure the body was carried from the biolab to the garden is the tarp that we found in the garden. When I was checking it over again, I noticed something. I noticed that some text had been stamped on one corner of the tarp.
Oh, it says Biolab.
Holy cow! How'd you notice that tiny little thing?
Makoto's nitpicky nature seems to have surfaced with perfect timing.
This proves that the tarp originally came from the biolab. In fact, there's a whole stack of tarps just like it in there.
So when the killer moved the body to the garden, they must have grabbed a tarp to wrap it in. Then they simply left it as it was to protect against the sprinklers, and put the coat on it afterwards.
You made everything sound so amazingly consistent.
That's just a wild guess.
Whoa, you certainly don't think that was of any indication.
Where's your evidence? Prove that the body was wrapped in a tarp and moved.
There is no evidence. I was simply explaining what I think happened. But you seem to be getting pretty worked up about it, wouldn't you say?
Worked up?
Now that the conversation has turned to the topic of the biolab, you must be getting pretty nervous. Because the key to uncovering your secret identity is hidden within that room, isn't it?
They gave the bio who we thought was Junko.
Unmasking the mastermind?
You see, the biolab contained an inconsistency. One so major it can't be overlooked.
An inconsistency in the biolab could be choose
I can't hear you. La 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 la.
Such a child. Oh well, just ignore him.
or her, rather, if my theory is correct. I need to pull myself together and think. The inconsistency in the biolab, could you be talking about...
By the way, Makoto, what about that one thing?
What one thing?
What do you think? I'm talking about your family.
What?
Don't tell me you forgot about that video message.
To be fair, Mukuro did look kind of like Makoto's sister in a sense.
So what do you think? Are you sure your family's still okay?
Why are you bringing that up now?
Your mom, your dad, your little sister. What do you think has happened to your family? Are they really as safe as you might have assumed?
Stop talking about that!
Calm down, Makoto. He wants you to get upset.
Yeah, I need to calm down. I can't let him get to me. He's just saying that because he knows we're getting really close to the truth about the biolab. So if I want to shut him up, I need to expose the inconsistency and slam him with it. The inconsistency has to be that one area where the numbers just don't match up. Bullet time! The more the truth.
Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? What do you want? Are you sure about this? Proof! Are you sure about this? Proof! Are you sure about this?
Final strike!
I'm not listening!
Biolabs! Okay.
Are you sure about this?
Okay.
What do you want? I'm not listening!
Boom.
This should prove it.
Okay. I was actually a little shocked by that because we didn't do that sometime.
The inconsistency Hyoko's talking about is the lights.
But good thing I actually did read a comment from a video way back in which one of my viewers stated that you can actually lock onto multiple statements. Good thing I did that because otherwise Monokuma would be kicking my ass. Literally, that was just true. What hell?
What are you talking about? What about the lights?
Like I said before, the biolab also acts as a morgue. And as part of that, a giant refrigerator was installed in there. That's where everyone who's died is stored.
And it was set up so that when a slot had a body in it, a blue light would turn on.
In other words, if the blue light is on, that means there's a body in that slot.
But I counted up the number of blue lights that were on, including the one Mukuro was in, and there were only 9.
Why does that matter? You gotta give me the bite-sized version here, man.
Essentially, a body was recycled. The number of lights that should be on is... 10 lights.
A gun!
Okay, good. Good, just want to make sure.
10 of the lights should have been on. Any other number is incredibly suspicious.
Suspicious? Why?
Because there were 16 students.
That's simple. Just recall who's died here so far, and it should become clear.
That's right. That's the key to solving this mystery. Sayaka died first. Junko was second. Leon was third. Chibi was fourth. Mondo was fifth. Taka was sixth, and Hifumi was seventh. Celeste was eighth. Sakura was ninth. And victim number 10 was Mukuro.
So 10 people in all?
That's right. Any other number should make you immediately suspicious. But according to the lights in the biolab, only 9 people were being stored there.
You're saying a dead body just up and disappeared?
Yep.
Got it! The mastermind destroyed one of the bodies to get rid of evidence.
But if they wanted to do that, they would have destroyed Mukuro's body, since they actually killed her. And yet, her body was left alone.
Then, whose body disappeared?
It may very well be that none of them disappeared.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
But if that's true, then why doesn't the body count match?
Because we knew Mukuro from the very beginning. Mukuro
Including
was our second
Makuma's
death.
executions, there have apparently been 10 deaths, but there were only 9 bodies.
Like I said, my theory's
That's the
getting more
point I'm trying
solid.
to make.
I'm completely lost. How can the number of victims be less than the number of murders?
Recycled death. The reason there are less bodies than murders, the explanation is for more murders than victims. Why is that? Why would it take for that to make sense? The same person was killed twice.
A gun! What about if the same person was killed twice?
We're getting to Junko. Those nails.
Killed twice?
Those nails.
Officially,
those nails were bigger than I
10
thought.
murders have been committed so far, but one of the victims may have been murdered, and then murdered again.
Murdered and murdered again?
If that's the case, there could have been 10 killings, but still only 9 victims, right?
Technically, you're right, I guess. But still, something like that.
Could easily have happened. No, it is what happened.
Sounds like you're already convinced. Then can you tell us who was killed twice?
I know
It was
it's already.
Mukuro, of course. Before she was killed as Mukuro Ikusaba, she was killed as someone else.
And that's why the body had to be stored in the biolab until the moment we found it in the garden.
No, that's crazy talk. She was killed as someone else? Come on! Besides, who could that someone else even have been?
I'll give you a hint. It starts with a J
All
and
you have
ends
to
with a
do is look
Junko.
at those bodily injuries of hers, and that will become obvious.
The spears of Gunyear.
Nothing's gonna become obvious. Because Kyoko's totally delusional.
Okay, make your argument. The kid file 5.
Who is this someone else that moved?
I just want to see the file one more time, just to make sure. Which went through, they also, okay, the body was covered in wounds, but these were several days old. Okay, I'm going to assume that it's not the file.
Was it Sayaka Maizono? Junko Enoshima?
No! I was trying to flash back.
Shoot!
Okay, well, at least I'll get a chance to scan it again. Sorry, like I said,
Who
just...
is this someone? Was it Sayaka Maizono? Junko Enoshima?
Okay, boom.
Leon Kuwata? Chihiro Mando? Kiyotaki Fumi Yamada? Celestia, Lu, whatever. Or maybe Sakura Ogami. No. There's no way anyone
Was murdered twice!
Boom! Oh my, I was right? Junko really is! Wow, I'm on this! Sorry I was getting so high and mighty. I really didn't know. I was just guessing because I saw the nails on the corpse that gave me the idea. But oh my gosh! That bad feeling I had about Junko, the feeling that something was off about her, was right? Man, I really do have good
her
intuition.
fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
What do you mean?
The spears have gotten you!
Well, remember what happened to her? She was impaled by a bunch of spears, all over her body.
And Mukuro died from a number of wounds across her body. When you compare that to the stab wounds Junko suffered,
And the similarities match?
Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up. That explains why those two bodies are actually one and the same.
so let me see if I have this straight.
I was right! Something was off about
Junko,
Junko!
or someone going by that name, was stabbed to death with multiple spears. Then her body was kept in the biolab for however long before being dragged out again. Only this time, it was presented as the corpse of one Mukuro Ikusaba.
It all matches up, right? Those wounds Junko suffered could easily be these same injuries.
It's really true? Mukuro and Junko are the same person? Wait, so then... what does it all mean?
The Junko we knew was actually Mukuro!
It means that there haven't been 10 victims, but 9. Which also means that among the people we thought were dead, one is still alive.
One Junko!
And that's the true identity of the mastermind?
Who is it? Who's behind all
Junko,
this?
obviously!
We already know the answer to that.
What?
It's Mukuro.
Oh.
She's still alive.
Oh, I thought they were saying that it was Makoto. I'm like, what?
She took Junko's body and made it look like she was
No.
the one who
We
died.
know that it was Mukuro.
So Mukuro is still alive. She's gotta be. Total silence? Then I must be right. I'm right, aren't I?
Mukuro alive? Then the one that's still alive is Mukuro? But can we really believe that? No, there's no way. There's no way Mukuro Ikusaba is still alive. Now I see that case file. I know it's Mukuro's fatal injury, Mukuro Ikusaba's.
The body we found in the garden. It wasn't Mukuro.
Okay, I just want to see the profile one more time, just to be safe. Okay. Not a single scar or wound. Kyoko's confirmed that. Ah, okay, good. Okay.
Then she's still alive? That's right. She made it look like Junko's body was her. So the mastermind's true identity is Mukuro.
What do you say, Monokuma? Do you get...
Okay, I want to make sure.
The body it wasn't Mukuro. Then she's still alive? That's right. So the mastermind's true identity is Mukuro.
What do you say, Monokuma?
Do you give up?
Okay, sorry, I keep getting that mixed up.
The body it wasn't Mukuro. Then she's still alive? That's right. So the mastermind's true identity is
Okay, thought that was it. Okay, sorry.
the body it wasn't Mukuro. Then she's still alive.
Ah, come
That's
on.
right. So the mastermind.
What do you say, Monokuma?
The body we found in the garden. It wasn't Mukuro.
Okay, boom.
No, that's wrong.
Just trying to get these profiles.
No, the body we found in the garden was Mukuro. That's one thing we can be sure of. The body's appearance and measurements are consistent with her records.
but are also identical to Junko's.
Right, Kyoko?
She was 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighed 97 pounds.
System. Okay, I want to make sure. Truth bullets, the profile. You were 1 inch off, Kyoko.
Everything in her profile is consistent with that corpse.
And then there's the matter of the Fenrir tattoo. So there's no question it's her.
But if Mukuro's not the mastermind, then who's actually still alive?
Junko. Some may look like they died, but they were actually still alive. The one person could be. Where's Junko? Junko. Ah, there we are. Junko.
Here's my answer. Junko is still alive. It's the only possibility.
I've been saying that since we started the 5th chapter, ironically enough. Oh my gosh, I've actually been aware of this massive plot point for so long without even knowing it.
Are you sure about that?
Huh?
The nails.
I admit, since Mukuro is undoubtedly dead, Junko does seem to be the only other explanation. But we saw her get impaled. She died right before our very eyes.
What if Mukuro was actually Junko?
If Junko were still alive, the death we saw would had to have been some kind of charade. But you yourself confirmed she was dead, did you not?
Now you mention it. I gently placed my hand on Junko's lifeless body. I touched her wrist to check for a pulse, like they do in movies and stuff, but she really is dead. There was anything else to say, she was gone. I did check, absolutely, and I did
She
sure.
was dead. There's no question. Junko was
Or
dead.
rather, Mukuro is dead.
So, the idea that she's still alive.
It must be wrong.
Then you're withdrawing your previous statement?
Junko, you're enjoying this, aren't you?
I know you gave it your best shot, but too bad. I guess your conclusion was a dud. Too bad, too bad.
This case hasn't been decided just yet.
To believe, the ultimate fashionista has been screwing us over.
Oh? You haven't given up already, have you, Makoto?
No! Of course not! There's no way I'd give up that easy.
That's all well and good, but how do you intend to solve the problem standing in your way? Junko absolutely died. Mukuro absolutely died.
Then both of them are dead, right? There can't be any kind of survivor story.
I think we need to look at this from the opposite direction.
Huh? The opposite direction?
Let's assume Junko is still alive. If so, how could she have survived?
How could Junko have survived? I checked her, she was dead, I'm sure of it. Until if she were alive somehow, could it be that Junko's not the one that died? If it was Junko, it was an elf. Maybe she used some sort of trick. It was Mukuro. Hangman's Gambit. Replace. Okay, A. E. And finally U. Replaced.
Now I understand. That's it! What if she switched places with someone else?
Switch places?
That's right! Before the spears could kill her, she got someone to take her
Or,
place!
better yet, we did not even ever meet Junko from the time we entered the academy.
Specifically, Mukuro Ikusaba!
Then that would make it Mukuro's corpse that showed up later.
Which is why the body's height and weight and everything match Mukuro's profile, right?
I don't know anything about this switching places thing, but that had to be Junko who got stabbed to death, right?
Yeah, you're saying they switched? When could they even have done that? Right when she was about to die? Like she used some kind of ninja replacement technique?
Good point. There's just no way they could have switched like that. So maybe the whole idea is wrong.
There has to be some way. Maybe they had to explain they could switch. They switched at the beginning.
I got it! The two of them may have switched places from the very beginning.
That's what I've been saying!
From the beginning?
Yes, from the moment we first met. If that's when they switched, then they wouldn't have had to switch at the moment of death, right? After all, the one we saw at that point would have already been Mukuro.
Hold on. So, you're saying the Junko we first met was actually Mukuro all along?
We'd already met her?
I had like a normal conversation with her.
When we first met, none of us knew who anyone else was.
And when we mentioned any
So
inconsistencies with
Mukuro could have simply told us her name was Junko.
that, and she was very quick to point out about photoshopping and the like with those magazines. Possibly any facial differences.
And we never would have known the difference. That would easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning.
Wait, but Mukuro had a tattoo on the back of her hand, right?
Can we ever see the
Junko never had any tattoo like that, did she?
She could have hidden it with foundation or something like that. If she did, it likely melted away in the explosion, exposing the tattoo after the body was extinguished.
I simply wasn't paying attention to her right hand, so really, I didn't know.
Plus, there were the fake nails found on the hands of Mukuro's body.
That was my first clue.
They were the same fake red nails she was wearing when we all met for the first time.
But if she really did use foundation...
Correct. Even if there was no tattoo on her hand, I couldn't say for certain it wasn't Mukuro. So I'm glad nobody noticed that glaring hole when we were trying to figure out who attacked Makoto. But too bad for you, Monokuma. You can't deny it anymore.
Wait, so this whole thing was a setup from the very beginning?
If that's true, it was quite an elaborate plan to be sure, making it look like Mukuro was Junko.
Easier than you'd think if my theory of them being twins is correct.
The reason such an elaborate plan was possible is because the two of them were working together.
So Mukuro, the ultimate despair, teamed up with someone like her. In other words, it would be fair to say that Junko herself was also the ultimate despair.
What's wrong? Lost the will to fight back?
I think he's just afraid.
Afraid? What's that mean, afraid? Fear is only possible where hope is possible. I only have despair, so fear is an alien concept to me.
Then why haven't you been saying anything?
Because it's a bunch of nonsense. Junko's my secret identity? As if.
Then why did you try and protect Junko's real identity?
I tried to protect her identity? When did I do that?
So he still refuses to admit, but he can't try to deceive us all he wants. He can try to deceive us all he wants. It doesn't matter, because I've already figured it out. To hide Junko's identity, and not just once but twice. The first time was during our late investigation. Junko, tarp, locker, Violet's secret. I'm trying to do this. Oh, forget the first time. Try to find it. This is the check. I'm gonna say this. Shoot. Okay, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, come on. I'm gonna say the control room. Shoot. Wasn't the control room. In room present, Kyoko, Master's the Handbook, locker, Violet, secret. Kyogo's account. What? I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, interview DVD.
I got it! While I was in the AV room, watching the DVD of our interviews with the headmaster.
It wasn't just Amara. The DVD player itself had apparently turned off. Okay, I think now is a good time to end things off. I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever that you want. And with that, I will see you later. Bye.